Hello and welcome. Welcome and hello to the Forgotten Faction podcast. This week we have HD, Rad, System, and Zach. Let's get this started.
So, System, how you doing this week?
Tired. I've been pushing myself pretty hard this week. I've been doing too many videos and too much design work this week, and just kind of like really burned myself out a little too much.
Okay, nice long weekend, right? You gonna enjoy the holiday?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna plan on fixing my entire sleep schedule for the launch of D2 this weekend. So pretty much after we're done recording here, I'm gonna go back to bed and sleep most of the day.
Nice, very nice. Rad, how you doing this week?
Besides, the tropical storm in Houston, fantastic. We had some, nice weather out here, and got able to opportunity to serve at our church and other people, and a really humbling experience. And seeing some of the stuff through my travels through work, it's been a humbling week for me, you can say.
Yeah, it's been quite the past 2 weeks there, Houston, and Bungie is even donating right now to Houston for a relief fund. If anybody's listening now, you can go to bungie.net, and they have a few pins and things that you can purchase to donate.
Well, also J.J. Watt's foundation just reached, I want to say, I think they might have hit 15 million already.
Yeah, I know they were over 10 million yesterday.
No, they were at 13 yesterday. I think they were close to 15 today. I could be wrong, but his initial goal was like 200,000, and it just people were just
and like I forget what the singer's name is. She donated like 10 million herself.
Well, someone from I think Austin donated 25 million to a different fund, not JJ Watts. But as a Raider fan, my company bought me a Texan jersey, and I picked JJ Watts because he's just he's unbelievable to the community, and I will have no shame representing him as a Raider fan.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Discord, how you doing today, man?
I am great, and yourself? Never mind, we'll get to that.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll tell you guys.
Sorry, I work in retail, and that was my my automatic response. Someone asked me how I am, I ask it back. No, but I'm doing good. I'm ready for D2. I am pumped. I'm on such like a excitement high that I just can't even function.
Can't even.
I can't even. I know I'm going.
Can't you? You're a 12-year-old girl again.
Dude, it feels good to be back there. No, no, but I just got to survive this weekend. I'm a weekend warrior, so I'm working all the way until Tuesday, and then I'm ready.
Well, this weekend marks the 1-year anniversary of taking my youngest to the hospital to get a brain scan because I thought his head looked funny. So today is actually exactly 1 year from today. We took him in, and then Monday, the anniversary of his brain surgery. So, important weekend for my family. We're going to have a very large party. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, there's the 9 p.m. pickup for us Pacific guys on Tuesday. Destiny 2. And then, of course, my boss calls me yesterday and says, hey, I'm going to come down and see you on Tuesday. And Wednesday. And Thursday. And Friday. Oh my gosh. So I don't know how much I'm going to get to play this week, but I can't really work from home a whole lot this week. So we'll see how this works out. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm so stoked. It's going to be a blast.
That's why I buy digital. I don't got to pick nothing up. It's already on my console.
Yeah, but I got extras, physical extras. I got the limited edition copy. So I've got a
Nice.
few physical extras that are going to be kind of nice.
Yeah, I got the collector's edition, so I'm gonna hang
Wait,
that
you
backpack
got
up.
the collector's edition?
I got the collector edition. I know I'm dumb.
No,
But
no. You're not dumb because I ordered it too. But how fast did you order it?
I bribed my wife into a dinner if she, once it was released, if she go to GameStop and pre-order it.
Okay.
And she was being amazing that day and didn't hate video games. And she put down $25 for my collector's edition.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, by the time I ordered it, it was already sold out in the entire U.S. So luckily, in my friends that I've met in Destiny, I knew someone in Canada. I'm like, hey, if I order from Best Buy Canada, can you receive a package? So he's going to send it to me. But I also have another copy to play on day one. So
Okay, I was going to say, you're going to have to be waiting a few days.
no, I'm not waiting that long.
Okay. All right. So that kind of gets us all up to speed. But let's talk about some of the things we've done in the last 2 weeks since we recorded our last episode. We had talked about taking me through a raid, specifically taking me through Vaulted Glass. I don't know what I'm doing. And any previous raid completion done through there, it was kind of which was only just a couple, one or two. I had done nothing as far as mechanics go. It was just kind of like, you stay here, hold the gate open. I'm like, okay, I can do that. Don't fall off. Don't get blown up. Don't get shot. I can do that.
Don't step in the slime pool.
Don't step in the slime pool. Don't get shot by the snipers. Just survive and shoot things. That was my entire goal. But what did you guys? How do you guys think I did that raid?
For our first one, being hard mode, I think we finished it in less than an hour, which is a little bit long for me. But I mean, for a first timer, I thought that was really good.
It wasn't so bad.
We wiped 3 times at Templar, and we got Atheon on our second try.
Yep, and those were doing challenge.
All challenge strats, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you ran the relic.
I ran the relic
Yeah.
on the Templar. On Templar. I ran the relic. I had no idea what I was doing. The system had to tell me repeatedly, go here, then here, then here. Stand right there. Shot.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun, and once I kind of got in the rhythm of it, it was really not that bad once you get the rhythm of it. But obviously somebody had to figure that out. So, but I had a lot of fun doing that, and it was an absolute blast. And I know you guys really enjoyed watching me repeatedly die at the jumping part, the jumping puzzle. That was not. I was very tempted to go to orbit, but it was a lot of fun. So thank you guys for that. That was a blast. We also got to do our very last PvP fun run, hosted by Steel Darkblade from our clan. We got to do a Titan Bowl system. Can you explain what we did for that?
Yeah, sure. Titan Bowl was everyone was a Titan. We had 2 teams. We all ran, for the first part of it, we all ran Striker Titans and flashbang grenades. When we played Rift, we were only allowed to shoulder charge, melee, or use flashbangs. And it was a little difficult trying to shoulder charge 15 people while also being flashbanged nonstop. But that was pretty much the first round. Second round, we did Fight Club with Defender Titans. 2 guys go in, pop their bubbles, and punch each other to death.
I broke the number 1 rule of Fight Club.
You talked about Fight Club.
Yeah, I posted a little GIF on Twitter of me and what was it, AB?
I think it was AB Chavez.
AB Chavez, and we went to town, and I had a couple of them that just didn't connect, and I'm just sitting here just trying to punch him, not doing anything, and then he turns around and kills me.
Well, that and the fact that
around.
if 2 bubbles are popped over each other from opposing teams, they almost cancel each other out. Like some people don't get the effect of Armor of Light, so it doesn't exactly work in how it should, unfortunately, because it is slightly flawed. Like if it works proper, it would make fights a little bit more, punch fights a little bit more interesting.
Well, that's where like Ash and I traded.
Yeah, there was a couple of trades.
It worked out real nice.
Like sometimes when they actually worked, they were really good. And some people would forget that you got to like pop your bubble over the other guy's bubble, because if you go after him, you're going to leave your bubble and you're going to die. And
don't
then
leave the bubble.
Kind of turned in, and then we did another one where we could only sun charge with Hammer Titans, and that went okay, not that great. It didn't exactly work in everybody's favor. It became a really tilted fight for one team because they would just kind of control spawns, as it were. Even though we were only allowed to stay in one special area in Pantheon, one team was staying alive longer, more than the other team, so we were able to get our supers back much faster, and it became a very one-sided match.
Yeah, we were able to feed orbs to each other, basically, where the other team wasn't.
It went one-sided real quick.
Definitely. But it was still a lot of fun to do. It was just all you can do.
For
is
sure.
We were throwing not incendiary grenades, but
thermite grenades. Yeah, so it was just lava. Floor is legit lava.
Yeah,
on that one,
definitely. And that was a lot of fun. So we did that, and then we also had our PvP tournament. And the PvP tournament, Rad, myself, System, War, who's not on here, we're all on a team together. We had 7 teams in total for the tournament. It's a lot of fun. Had an absolute blast. If you want to watch any of it, I streamed a ton of the games from the DoD West Side at twitch.tv/DoD West Side. We used a OBS setup with a bunch of browsers in Chrome, and I was able to kind of sync all of them over full screen and kind of do a multi-Twitch there. It was a lot of fun to do. And then for the finals, because our team was not there in the semis or the finals, I was able to try to make an attempt to shoutcast. It was a lot of fun switching, having a lot of fun with that. So there's a really great gameplay. If you guys are looking for some higher end PvP, that's a great place to go watch some of it. A lot of fun too. What did you guys enjoy about that tournament?
I honestly, I like the experience to see some of these high level teams and learning some of their strategy. I'm maybe average or maybe a little bit below average on PvP. So the seeing different strategies and see how they're pushed and seeing that the whole new world that to get more experience and seeing these teams go and just kind of steamroll. We held our own. I mean, we didn't get decimated, but we win any matches. But I went in for the true experience to see what I need to do to get better as a player.
Definitely. And with this tournament, we pulled out a lot of those really bad broken things within Destiny. There's no icebreaker, no land, no uni, no sticky nades, no sidearms. We pulled out exotic armor to try to slow everybody down a little bit, try to make it a little bit more balanced. Pulled out a few of the other broken things here or there, which was great, and it turned into I feel like a very balanced primary base and skill base. You have to use your primary to control special, to control the map, not use abilities to control the map. It was very much a well played tournament. I think we had the League of Average Gamers showed up. We had Who Has the Checkpoint showed up. We had a couple of other DoD clans showed up. We had Up Past Bedtime, who was the winners of the tournament, which were a few guys from the Crucible Radio Slack who got together and signed up. It was a lot of fun to play, and a lot of fun to see their play overall. A lot of fun. And actually, today we have an interview for you guys where I sat down with two of the players from Up Past Bedtime, Hamster 11234 and Dr. Grimm 218. So we'd like you guys to hear that.
I thought it was okay. I was up too early for it.
Yeah, it was. That was a lot of fun to do, to sit down and pick their brains and go through. You know, I know it ended up being way longer than I intended, but we got to talk about some really cool things and pick their strategies apart a little bit on what they used, what they did, and what that high-end D1 meta looks like. And of course, as soon as we roll into D2, all of that's going to change. So, but it was still a lot of fun.
That's the one thing I'm looking forward to is how much different D2 will play than D1. Everyone's going to be, there's going to be some people that have a slight, they'll be ahead of the curve a little bit because some strategies will work for D2, but the gunplay and the abilities, everyone will be on the same learning curve for that. Some people will catch it faster, some people won't, and I'm really looking forward to that because in the tournament, I really felt, especially when we played Dr. Grimm and Ham's team, I really felt like I was completely outclassed, and I almost wish we hadn't played them so early, because it felt like we got into the tournament and then just got steamrolled right out of there because we played two really good teams. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, cool. Well, I'll just go back and watch this and hope I can see something I missed or something. But it was just felt too much like I got steamrolled. And unfortunately, that's like really deflating. And I'm like, well, okay, cool. I'm just going to go back and play on my computer. Cool.
No, it was really tough. I mean, we played Up Past Bedtime round, losers bracket. In our next game, we played against the League of Average, which are both fantastic teams. That's just kind of the way it worked out, though, because we were completely randomly generated. We ended up with the bye week, or the bye, first round bye. So sorry about that. I'll repeat that. Unfortunately, we ended up with the first round bye, so we ended up going into the second round automatically, which means that some of the lower teams ended up further back in the losers bracket than us, so they already were knocked out by the time those higher tier teams got to us. So yeah, it was a little tough. And the lag game, we were within during Clash. I think we were within 1,000 points. I think at one point we were even ahead when we were playing on Exodus Blue. I mean, it was a really, really tight game, but then about 3/4 of the way through, they pulled together and blew past us.
Yeah, I mean, remember we didn't really practice much with the team. Our team got kind of thrown together at the last minute, unfortunately, because of scheduling. And so, I mean, we did pretty well. I think if we would have practiced a little bit more on some of our strategies before the tournament, we probably did at least maybe one or two of them. But the teams were just there were.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I think we could have beat lag. Because like they came out real strong in our first match, but we ended up catching up to them and passing them like halfway through, and then they had just like lost momentum, and instead of us keeping our momentum, we had kind of like lost ours a little bit or got comfortable, and so then they gained their momentum back. Instead of us just staying strong and keeping a really good momentum, we kind of slowed it down a little bit, and they were able to take the lead back and win. And I think that might have been like our big thing right there is like if we had just kept our momentum in that match, we could have beat them. We could have moved forward. Probably would have got steamrolled on the next match, but hey, that would have been okay.
Yeah. No, it was still a lot of fun to do, even though we didn't win, and it was very, rad point. It was kind of eye opening, to a certain extent, but it was good to play those sweats and get that level, that higher tier practice in. Is something like we just talked about on that interview, was that if you're the number one player in the room, you're not going to get any better. So by going into tournaments like these, or going and playing late night sweats with some of these guys that are better than you, you will increase your skill over time. But
what I was going to add, I'm sorry, going into D2, you guys mentioned this, I think, in episode 1. The mechanics are a lot different. The gunplay is a lot different. You have 2 primaries now. Supers don't spawn. I mean, I was one of those people that I liked how often this. I mean, I got a super probably mid match, but I noticed I did both sides during the beta, and I noticed that the strike gear gave you a faster time to get your super. And so I was running strike gear in PvP, and I would never really put on my PvP gear. And I noticed I was getting super at mid match. But I like the fact that the gunplay was the main part of I'm trying to say, sorry. It was the main goal.
So you mean primary weapons were the primary focus?
Primary focus. There you go. And so I was one of those people.
R/dad jokes is over there. Thank you.
Yeah. When people were complaining about the supers, I'm like, no, they were great. I actually used the primary to kill someone. They had to use a primary to kill me. And so communication, like we called out, hey, let's flank, let's team shot. And we did really well. I mean, me and System were putting big numbers during the beta. So I'm looking forward to D2's PvP side and see how it goes.
Agreed. And well, I guess that brings me to talk a little bit about the PC beta. System, you got to play this as well, right?
I played a little bit of it, as much as my laptop would allow me, since I don't put video games on my really good computer. So I got to play just because it's a really expensive piece of machinery, and I don't want anything to happen to it.
Understand. Okay.
So I played what I could on my laptop, but I was only getting 15, 20 frames a second in Strike, and then 5 to 10 for PvP. And so I would get kicked back to orbit a lot. So I only got to play one real match in PvP. But I'm not a mouse and keyboard kind of guy, and unfortunately, controllers are really at a disadvantage on PC. So I couldn't really do that because I tried. It did not go well. I did actually came out of a match with absolutely no kills using controller and mouse and keyboard. I also have disability, so it doesn't really work out for me trying to use a keyboard. And it was pretty good. I'd say that I really like Javelin 4. I think I spent more time looking at the map than anything else, because that's really all I cared about. I love anyway. The map.
I love it.
It's a bit tight, but I think that'll be pretty good.
That's funny that you say it's a bit tight, because I've also heard complaints that it was a bit large.
Well, I think the people that are complaining that it's a bit large were taking the outside lanes too much. But from spawn to B is like a legit B line. It's you can get there so quick.
Yep.
Whereas if you go around to either C, you're taking a long route to get there.
I think people pointed out, rightly so, that the gap between A and C is kind of large if you take the rock wall lane up by deck, and you take that outside route is kind of long, but it also provided. I looked at that was a good snipe lane, that was a good scout rifle lane, that was even a good pulse rifle lane. Lane. Whereas between B and C and A and B were all hand cannon, auto rifle, submachine gun. Right. Yeah. So depending on what you want to engage with is how your team is going to play. So if your team wants to play long range, you're just going to bounce back and forth between A and C.
Yeah, and that makes sense, being a long route to A and C, because you really shouldn't be flipping spawns that much.
Mm-hmm.
So going that long distance is a risk reward. You were out in the open on Javelin. Getting to that super that was in that big room off of B, that it's that risk reward, and it's it flowed really, really well, and I really think that's going to be a really good map.
Oh yeah,
and
I'm excited.
Yeah, if Trials isn't like one specific map, but it's like multiple maps, that'll be a pretty decent Trials map.
Definitely agreed. And then so I played it, and I'm running a $500 off the shelf PC from Best Buy. CyberPower unit runs literally to the minimum list on minimum specs. And I could get pretty consistently between 45 and 60 frames on medium settings. It actually defaults to whatever settings it thinks are best for your build. And it defaulted me to medium settings. And it did really well at 60 frames for the most part. If until I took it into the strike, and it started dropping frames. Great. I mean, I couldn't maintain 10 frames. And I was like, okay, I'm not sticking around. I'm going back to orbit. This is not for me. Not on my build. Which is a little disappointing. However, my brother-in-law is building about $1,000 build, and so I'm going to go try it on that drops and see if it's really that great. I may capture some footage there and then post that up just to see what it's like on a little higher end build. You got a 1060 6 gig dedicated graphics and a new Ryzen Ryzen CPU, and then a brand new motherboard with an M.2 SSD. So it should be running silky smooth, but I'll give it a try and let you guys know how it is. But for myself playing it in PvP, I will say, Rad, I think you're gonna like the changes that they made. You weren't too, you liked how the supers regened, and I think you'll find that you'll like them. I think you'll still like them, but they are faster. So that was one of the things I actually really enjoyed. Is I never in the D2 original console beta never got 2 supers in it, ever, and I was always getting my super within the last 25% of the game. It was already, we're already getting near the end, and then everybody got their super at the same time. But
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say?
I want to say I did get 2 supers in one match. I think it was competitive mode. I was doing a lot of team fire, so I was getting that extra. And I want to say that I had a Nova Bomb, I think on the second or third round, and then they caught up to us, and so we went to extra innings. I think I had another one to win it. I don't know if I saved any gameplay with it, but no, I mean, I just don't like super dictating matches, and that's what you saw a lot in trials.
Well, right, and so that was the thing is not only did I got 2. If I had a good game, if I had a decent game, I got 2 supers every game. And that's about right. But the thing I felt about it was that I thought was so interesting is I think I actually saw more supers get shut down than I saw super kills, if that makes sense. Because I watched repeatedly people pop a golden gun and get shot down. People pop a blade, pole dancer, whatever it is. What I don't remember what they call it now. I just call it pole dancer. They pop a pole dancer and get shot down. The only ones that I saw that weren't getting shot down were obviously Nova Bombs, and even strikers. Once they got their first one off, were getting dropped a lot. And what that was telling me is on PC at least, there was a lot of team firing going on, and there was a lot of people using that secondary elemental because it does the additional bonus damage. I think they upped the additional bonus damage from elementals a little bit on supers. So that, it's okay if you get it a little more often, but you're also going to die a little bit easier. So that you really have to use it well. Like I had a couple of 3 and 4 kill supers, but that was a lot of work to get it done, and I usually ended up trading on that last kill.
Do you think that maybe because a lot of the people that did the PC version played the beta on consoles, and maybe they got used to how the system, the supers work, so they were able to come up with a strategy?
I don't think so, and here's why I say that. I had so many lobbies where people never picked up power ammo. They just didn't know what it was. These people that are PC players who are coming fresh into Destiny don't know what power ammo is, and nobody was picking it up. I had so many lobbies where I'd run around, well, granted, except for lobby number 1, because in lobby number 1, I was playing with frickin' Dr. Lupo in round 1 on PC.
Nice.
That was terrible. Oh my gosh. Stomped into the dirt. It was fun, but I got stomped very badly. But yeah, so many people. I just seeing it, and it's like, okay, they just went over, they capped A. There's 3 of them there. They just all killed me. All 3 of them. I ran into a group of 3 of them who just capped. They're running to B, and they left the power ammo over there. Didn't pick it up. I'll spawn at C, run over to A, start to cap, and realize, oh, power ammo still hasn't been pulled. I'll go pick up the power ammo and then continue, like, all the time. All the time. Just, I don't think they know what to do. I think literally Bungie upped the power on that elemental, and that's going to play big into the D2 PvP meta. One of the other things that I really noticed playing PC, which is right, that you get a little more accuracy with the mouse. Granted, I'm atrocious, so it's not a good thing for me. But one of the things I did notice is that hip-firing hand cannon, within their optimal range, mind you, within optimal range, hip-firing them is extremely accurate. There was very, very little inaccuracy. Even when I pushed the gun to its outside of its optimal range, I was like, okay, well, that's only like, I'm only hitting 32 damage at this range, but I can sit here and hip fire you from a good ways away with my hand cannon and not miss. Now, I don't know if it's going to be the same way on the console build, but that does tell me that the cone of accuracy, at least on the PC build, it is very, very small, even at a good distance, which I like. I'd rather have a larger fall off and it be accurate at a complete, a maximum distance, than I would rather have that cone be very large and then, I got lucky to hit that distance. If that makes sense.
Was main ingredient? Was it main ingredient? The fusion?
Was
that still dominant?
I didn't get one during the whole. It was so much shorter than the previous beta. I didn't even get one. I played on a Titan. I ran the primary pulse rifle, and I ran a Minuet 42 hand cannon as my secondary for the vast majority of it. I did get a Scathe Lock there at the end, and that was just as good as ever. They definitely nerfed pulse rifles a little bit, and they bumped up scouts, hand cannons, and auto rifles stayed about the same. So everything feels pretty well balanced, but I definitely feel like the meta is going to be hand cannons, auto rifles, and then if you have a long range line, a scout.
I'm wondering if what I was going to say was that you should. Where your first mistake, you started with a Titan. You should have went with a Warlock, because I think they automatically get it.
I think they do, but I knew I got a pulse rifle and a hand cannon to start, which is my weapons of choice to playing, and I love the little mini walls. And since I can't shoot to save my life, I knew I needed a striker so that I could just run up and smash people. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like I said, and I just can't shoot to save my life with a mouse and need a lot of work. So my brother-in-law and I are playing Modern Warfare 2, running Desert Eagles only to practice using hand cannons for D2 right now. But yeah, PC beta, a lot of fun. I think the PvP balance felt better than it did in the original console beta. But with that, I think it's time that we get on to the news, specifically the TWAB, or the Bungie Weekly Update, as System likes to call it, still to this day. But System and HD, what do we got here? What news do we need to know about this week?
This week, all right. Well, first off, D2 launches at 9 a.m. on in the U.S.
9 a.m. Yes, 9 a.m.
Oh yeah, 9 a.m. Sorry, I wish. No, I'm at 9 p.m. Sorry, it's midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific, and you have a whole week until the raid launches on September 13th at 10 a.m. And 2 days after that, you get trials. We don't know yet if it's going to be Trials of the Nine or Trials of Osiris. people have been speculating, but no one knows for sure. So we have that happening on September 15th. And what else is in their system?
The hurricane relief stuff, of course, because apparently I closed my window, and I don't know why I did that.
Oh, so what you're talking about is Bungie has a relief fund going with their Bungie Foundation to help with the Houston hurricane, and you can go on the Bungie store, and they have a little cool pin you can buy. It looks like 3 stacked hearts on top of each other, and if you buy that, you get not only the pin, you get an in-game what do you call it, border or
Emblem.
There we go, emblem. And you get that as well, and all the proceeds go to help relieve some of the damage going on over there.
Yeah, and they also put up a bunch of new stuff in the Bungie store, and it's listed for D2. I don't see any new leggings though, which I'm slightly disappointed about. Those leggings are pretty boss. Like if they were cheaper, I'd probably buy a pair just to have them. Plus my butt would look really good.
Sorry, but it's a good thing that you don't use your camera that often, because no,
like those hunter ones, those fox ones they got. Oh man, I'd rock those all the time. All right, let's go.
Oh my gosh. No, System, can we post a link to the Bungie.net store specifically to that pin, so that people can find that if they want to donate a little bit to the relief fund?
Sure.
Well, we're also doing our charity stream too.
Well, that is something to talk about in our upcoming section in a minute.
Okay.
So other things that were pointed out in this weekly, or the Bungie weekly update, the engram system is going to be changed. So in Destiny 1, everyone's used to putting on their highest level gear and then decrypting their engrams, hoping to get a light level higher than that. Well, Destiny 2 tweaks that a little bit. So you no longer need to equip your highest level gear and then decrypt engrams. The game is going to scan all of your characters, including your alternate characters and even your vaults, to see what your highest possible light level, or I'm not sure what they're going to call it, their damage level for that engram can be, and it's just going to sit at that level. So once you drop, or once the engram drops, you pick it up, it's going to stay at that level, and it's already going to have intuitively figured out the best power to drop at. And that means you can pretty much wear whatever you want now and decrypt engrams. Also, you have your I'm not sure I want to talk about that yet, where the engrams go and how that works in your inventory. I'm not 100%, so we'll talk about that at another time, but that's what they showed in the Bungie Weekly Update, how that's going to work.
So in the words of Shax, this is amazing!
Yes.
No.
I'm excited. It's nice to not have to deal with that crap trying to decrypt as you're trying to level up and like, oh, I forgot to put on my max gear.
Right, and in Destiny Item Manager and all your alternate apps you use, some people had settings to maximize light just so you could decrypt all your engrams, and then they had to switch back over to everything they were wearing before, and it was just a hassle. Now you no longer have to do that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, another thing they talked about was D2. If you've done like a request real name with somebody, it's going to actually show their real name to you in your friends list instead of automatically showing their gamer tag. So you'll have to manually change that in your PlayStation account to not do that instead of the game showing their gamer tag instead. So you'll have to be wary of that when you're like streaming or something and you're going through your friends list, because it will show people's real names.
Yeah, that's good and that's bad. It's kind of cool, but at the same time, it does. For guys that stream, it's something we got to watch out for.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people that are like streaming don't really share their real name with people. I mean, if you're streaming and you go to your PlayStation or Xbox home menu, it's going to show your real name anyway. at least your real name that you have set to your account. Some people don't care, whatever, a lot of people know people's names. But if you are wary about that, you should be aware of that and keep that in mind.
Question, Zach, for you. During the beta on the PC, did you have the option to play with the online chat? Did it work?
Text chat? Yeah, it was super easy to use.
Was it on the screen?
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're going to do something similar. Did they mention they're going to possible future doing it to consoles or?
No, that won't come to console. That it's so much easier to do on PC.
It's super easy. You just hit enter and start typing and hit enter again, and it's done. Like that's it. Super.
Warframe easy. Has that in game, but it gets pretty nuts in there, and it tends to actually get fairly toxic.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. I tried it on Warframe, and I usually just turn it off when I play because it's so difficult to actually type. As well as if other people start typing like crazy, it kind of gets out of hand, and it's so much easier to handle on PC than it is.
Yeah, and usually like PC, it stays hidden unless you want it, whereas console, it auto comes up. And if you have a keyboard for your PlayStation, like I do, it made Warframe a lot easier to type in chat and whatnot. But the constant pop up is really annoying and. Some people like it, but it's like, nah, I'd rather not have that. And if you want to talk to me, then voice chat me or text.
Definitely. And one of the things I actually had issues with, I had issues with it, and everybody that I played with had issues with it, but we couldn't get the in-game beta voice chat to work. So your Fireteam chat for voice, we couldn't. So we always had to use Discord to chat, which is a little weird. And I'm not sure if that was an actual glitch with the beta or if it was just our setup and we didn't know what settings to set it up at, because most of us were fairly noobs when it came to PC gaming. So maybe it was just us, but we all just ended up using Discord for our chat.
Yeah. And then the next in the update or the blog post here. Just some more help stuff about the companion app and the website in general. The issues with the clan stuff are still going on. Most of it doesn't exactly work how it should, and it probably won't until D2 actually is live, because I'm sure a lot of things are interconnected with your player stats, and since we can't see those, it's probably breaking a lot of other things on the website. Which then moves us into the last movies of the week for D1, which was Bife's complete Destiny timeline, which is like an hour and a half long. And I've only been able to watch it like 20 minutes at a time before bed, before I fall asleep, because his voice is just so soothing. And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to fall asleep during this. Great, awesome. But I'd really want to finish watching it, because he does such a great job about telling the story.
So you're not the only one that falls asleep.
No, I'm sure he gets that a lot of people do. I mean, he's got a well-spoken, not a really well-spoken, soft-speaking voice, and he flows really well when he speaks, and it just lulls you to sleep, and it's just funny. But he's very informative, and if you don't watch his videos, I mean, I would, I do. And then honorable mention, a nice little farewell video, which with a lot of cutouts and transition effects. It's really well done. And then, of course, the Destiny Fun Popo with another chaperone montage.
Which
is always good. They do really good chaperone montages.
That inspired me last night to run a chaperone private. So much
and
fun.
Then somebody took the Destiny 2 live action trailer and replaced the music with Celine Dion's "My Heart Will Go On." And I think that the trailer was so much better with that, and it was hilarious.
I have not seen that. You have to
please send me the link to that. I've got to see that.
It's in the app.
It's in the Bungie Weekly Update.
It's in the update? How did I miss it?
It's in the honorable mention. It makes the trailer just hilarious, and it works out so well. Like the guy who did that did a really good job, and it's super funny. Because Sabotage is a really good song, but it's I think it distracts from the actual footage, personally. So, something softer like Celine Dion was just kind of made the trailer really funny and really good. Of course, it's the live action trailer also released this week, so we was able to do it. It's cheesy as always.
See, now I liked it. I mean, except for the fact that the live action Cade 6 looks frightening.
Yeah, really, his mouth creeps me out.
Dude, did he not look like the Green Goblin from Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire?
Yeah.
I was expecting him to, cheer them on and then throw pumpkin bombs.
Yeah, what's funny is I think one thing that's really awesome in all these trailers and stuff is how excited Cade is about everything. And it's because he's finally not stuck at the Vanguard Tower doing Vanguard things. He's so excited that he's actually out of the tower and killing stuff and doing stuff again. Because like in D1, if you listen to him at his table, he's like, asking you to sneak him out and go do things, and he just sounds so broken. Now he's free to go kill stuff and do things again. So he's just so excited, and it's really nice to hear him. Nathan Fillion is such a great voice actor that
I know, right? Seriously.
So you get to hear him, this complete other side of him, that he's just so excited and gets to do all these things, and he portrays Cade so well.
Oh yeah.
It really brings you into going, oh, Cade 6, you're the best. So, that's why so many people love him, because he's so snarky and all these great little one-liners. And
I still want to figure out what's up with that chicken.
Well, I'm sure he's just.
Or what about the horse?
The guy.
Well, I mean, he did ask if anybody wanted sandwiches. I mean, chicken sandwich is pretty good.
Well, he always mentioned the ramen shop.
The ramen shop, which I love.
Yeah.
So when I watched the video, I'm like, do it for the ramen shop. Oh, that's going to be all over Twitter. And then they later on during the
do it for the puppies.
Do it for the puppies.
And so I'm like, crap, how are you going to beat that? I mean, the ramen shop was good, but that was just like right there. It's going to be Twitter everywhere.
That's going gung ho for the puppies.
Yeah, like my Twitter feed that entire day was nothing but puppies, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I had a dog still, but like now my Twitter's full of puppies, and now I'm gonna go spend 3 hours looking at Rate My Dog and agree with all the 11s that are posted, because puppies are the best.
This got real.
But seeing
this
all the
real.
On Twitter, a lot of people retweet a lot of the images and with the chicken. And a lot of the drawings that people were coming up with was pretty amazing. They had him riding a chicken.
Oh, nice.
And then they had a chicken fully decked out in armor, and I think he had a sword. And so it's just the community. I mean, I don't think we're gonna lose any steam going to D2. If not, we're gonna pick the steam back up, and you just start to see the excitement in the air. And this one, live action trailer just probably brought more people to the table for D2.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, when I was watching it, other than the Cade 6 oddity, I was really interested in seeing a movie fleshed out like this. Obviously, this was a montage of action shots, but it looked like something that if Bungie pursued it, that could maybe make it not a full length movie, but something more lengthy for the fans, or just to release straight to YouTube or something.
Like if they recast Jon Favreau, who did the first Destiny trailer, to do like a full-on movie, it'd probably be pretty good.
Well, I mean, if you guys think about it, this game is going to have basically a movie's worth just in cutscenes. It's got 50 cutscenes. If they're only a minute a piece, that's still 50 minutes. If they're a minute and a half, you've got a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be nuts. I'm so excited for how much story is going to be there. And go ahead.
Did they? Sorry. Did they mention? Because we're doing 3. I'm going to do 3 characters. I'll watch the video one time. They're going
You're gonna have to be able to skip. Yeah, we already have skip. Skip's gonna be an option.
Yeah, skip was in the beta, so we know skipping cutscenes.
That's right. It was in the beta.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh crap. So I'm gonna have to.
We complained about that enough during the D1 that they know we need to be able to skip cutscenes.
Yeah, especially with how many they have. Anyways, moving on. We got EDZ gameplay, which was nice to see. Some
Raid
things
and
looked
Trials release dates.
We were talking about that.
And then also guided games is going to be slowly rolling out. It won't be 100% at launch. It's going to be available for, and I'm trying to find the number here, but
guided games will be available to all clans.
All clans, yeah.
Off on start, but solo players that are not part of clans, not every solo player will have access to guided games. They said about 50% of the player base will have access to it at first.
Yeah.
And then eventually they will give it to everyone. And then as far as Nightfall and Raids guided games, that will be even less people. At least for there will be, I don't think anybody was going to get it for the first week. And then after that, they were going to start bumping up the numbers slowly.
Yeah.
Because they want to make sure that it actually works proper and people aren't going to be abusing the system.
Right. There's not going to be a lot of pinging of, hey, I want to join. Hey, I want to join.
Yeah.
But yeah, just for the specific dates and times, on September 12th, the Nightfall Guided Games beta at 10 a.m. will be available to, it says, between 30 and 50% of players. And then Nightfall and Raid Guided Games on September 26th at 10 a.m. Their target is 100% of players to be given access. So, and by the way, that's also one other thing we forgot to mention in the weekly update was that Nightfall will be available from the launch of Destiny 2. If you can go in there and do the Nightfall, go for it. But yeah, everything else will be September 13th for the raid and September 15th for trials.
So here's a question for everyone.
So stoked. Yes.
Who's going to go hard and try and max out completely, or are you guys going to try and enjoy the game?
I'm going to be raid ready. But
yeah, I'm going to go hard and be able to be raid ready and trials ready at as max light or power as it were, actually, at least on one character. The other two I'll definitely take my time with, but I want to be absolutely raid ready, trials ready as soon as possible so that I can then spend the next 3 or 4 days grinding out for the best possible weapons at max power level.
What about you, Zach?
I'll be going to be trials ready, not raid ready, because I just don't. I'm not planning to try to go into this raid blind or do any of that. But I do want to be week 1 trials ready. So that's gonna be fun. I don't know, system rad. Maybe we can grab war and just take our PvP tournament trials and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, here's another question then. I'm sorry if I'm stepping on any toes.
No,
how
go.
D1 came out and they sold Galahorn, I think, on like the week 2 or 3.
Gosh.
And then basically it was hard to get for like the entire year. Do you think they're going to do something similar? Like if Zerg's coming back, are they going to release that one weapon that basically you have to go hard and get whatever the currency is to buy it, and you're not going to see it for a couple weeks?
So, well, let's say this. We're not going to talk about there were some leaks via strategy guide that there's some photos posted, and System has regretted ever even looking into that. So we're not going to talk about that. So we don't want to ruin anything for anybody. But that is something that could be possible. So just keep that in mind. I'm looking at like, okay, I need to grind out whatever I got to do to have whatever currency I need to have to be ready to grab whatever I can grab as fast as possible right up front. but that'll be. I don't know. I'm excited to see how it all works out. I don't want to spoil too much, but
Yeah,
those week 1 and 2 grinds are going to be pretty hefty.
I was gonna speculate if a system like Xur does exist, and they're going to give him some inventory. I would imagine that they would do that as a nod to their first, the first game when Xur first appeared, and he had that one weapon that no one knew that they should buy. Like I thought maybe that would be funny if that's something that they do. So maybe if he is in game or a system like that is in game, it would be pretty funny, and I'm sure everyone's going to be aware that there's a nod or something that you should, if he's got like a rocket launcher, buy it.
What about the loot? You think they're going to do like a lootcade, like on D1?
No, they actually talked about that in an interview with Luke Smith. He did a Wired interview where he answered questions via Twitter that were sent to him, and that was one of the things they talked about. They said we tried to design D2 so that to get loot, it isn't just you standing there shooting into a cave repeatedly. It's actually something where you can go do something fun instead of just standing there. He says maybe some people's idea of fun is standing there repeatedly shooting things that are easy targets coming out of a cave, but he says, but for most people, that's not really the ideal fun thing.
HD, you said you said you wanted to be raid ready, but you didn't really, continue, and I think I cut you off on that one.
Oh, I have a bad short term, so maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I don't remember.
So, are you planning on being raid ready? Like, how quickly do you want to get to?
So I'm torn. I'm in both pools there. I do want to be raid ready, and I want to be able to participate in things as they come out and be relevant and helpful. But at the same time, I also do want to enjoy the story. And that's a hard balance because we know that there's 50 cinematics, and like I believe Zach, like he was saying, if they're at least 1 minute long, so we know the game's at least 50 minutes long, but we know there's story in between. So we don't really know exactly how long the campaign takes to play. So that could, I'm hoping it's more than a full day worth of play, and I'm sure they've designed for that. But once the main storyline's over, I'm just gonna grind, and I can start speeding up after the story's over and just doing everything possible, everything I can to get my power up. So I'm gonna kind of go slow, and then I'm gonna speed up.
Cool, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to launch because you and I are going to be playing together. I know there's a slight hiccup in your timeline for launch night, but we'll get through it and then get to the story.
Stinks being a captain on a dark team as well.
Yeah.
All right. So that was a lot of news that we covered there real quick. But with that, I wanted to briefly talk about some other things that we might have coming up. Rad, I know you got together with, I believe, Mulehorn Gaming. Is that correct?
Yeah. So they're someone I follow on Twitter, and they're Texas-based. So they posted a charity stream, basically from. They didn't really release the dates at first, and I said, "No, what? I was affected to a point. I mean, I was in Houston. I was blessed enough not to be flooded, but there's a lot of neighborhoods that were affected, and our church stepped up and helped out a lot. So I figure as DOD, we there's a couple members that are in Texas that they were spared as well, and that we could step up and put a lending hand during this charity stream. So we got a block on Saturday, I believe that's the 9th, from 6 to 9. So we got a 3-hour block set aside for us.
That's cool.
That's 3-hour block, and then what are we planning to do during that 3-hour block? Because that will be after D2 at launch, so I'm assuming we're going to have a little bit of D2 gameplay, yeah?
Maybe D2, maybe some trials. Let's see. I mean, no, trials will be the week
trials
after.
won't come. Yeah, trials doesn't come out.
So, and most likely, I'm going to be grinding D2. So I know a couple people wanted to be in, so we'll just rotate in and see. It's also Central Time. I forgot to mention 6 to 9 Central Time. So it would be, what is that, 4 to 7? No. 4 to 7.
4 to 7. Okay, I might be able to get in there on that last hour with you. I'll be
so working. I mentioned so we'll just try and do something entertaining, and we're going to be hyping it up during our Twitter this week, and so we can get people to donate, and everything's going to the Red Cross.
Awesome. That is awesome. And System, we've got all of our donation links hooked up correctly for that, or we're going to get those set up so that
we'll
can
get
do that
those
correctly.
set up before it. Yeah, we don't.
Beautiful.
I don't think we do now.
Oh, and we forgot to mention, Westside's turning 3 on the 10th.
Ah, that's right. It's one of our other upcoming events. Maybe we'll have a little reveal of a little something. Yeah.
Yeah, we're working on something if everyone can agree on.
So hopefully we'll get to announce that on the DoD Westside anniversary on the 10th.
Cool.
And with that, I think that's a wrap, fellas. Definitely. Okay, hold on. Something that's bothering me. System, I cannot find that stupid video. It's not in the weekly update.
That's the very last video.
Okay. Roll to the bottom. There's one down there called Vasek Clutch. That's the most recent one.
Yes,
the
it is. It's
24th.
the very bottom. It's the very
824.
last
So
video.
which one is it then?
No.
31. There is no 831 update on
You're
here.
in the
Oh my
wrong
God.
one.
Yes, it is.
Screenshot.
It's right in the front. Are you looking on the app?
No, it's not.
No, I'm on the. Oh my god.
831.
Oh, I got it. Okay, that was the banner. Oh my gosh, I thought it was just a banner. Never mind. Oh my god.
So
that's terrible.
you were all excited for us to talk about last week's information. You're like, where's it?
Yep. I'm like, read this. Like I could not find it. Okay, hold on. I need to.
What?
Celine Dion.
All I heard was, I need Celine Dion. I mean, that's how you roll.
Oh my god, this is hilarious. Okay, you're right. Oh my god. Outro music.
You guys are fucking retarded.
Yeah.